जय गजानन। गणेशाय नमस्तुभ्यं, हेरंबाय एकदंतिने, स्वानंदवासिने तुभ्यं, ब्रह्मणस्पतये नमः. So today is Dussera. Happy Dussera. Today also is the day when a victory day, you can say, victory of the evil, victory over evil by good. That is, sometimes the divine has to intervene to enable that victory. So very often, where Vishnu Avatar, generally Ram Avatar, he killed Ravana today and gained victory over evil. Similarly, in the times in the past, Mahishasura Mardini, also the Devi, the 10 days we celebrated the Devi in her different aspects. And finally, when she assumed the the earliest incarnation of Devi was of Mahishasura Mardini for killing Mahishasura. That was one of the earliest of the Daityas who had to be killed. And so there is a Mahishasura Mardini Stotram. If you can, which is well known now. It's quite popular, made popular even by the rappers and everybody. So Mahishasura Mardini, I Giri Nandini, Nandi the Medini, that you can chant that stotram also. And today also for it's Ayuddha Puja. Ayuddha Puja means whatever tools you make use of in your um, for your occupation, for the job, for whatever you earn your income, your livelihood, that is celebrated. That is also worshipped. Like in the banks, we do the puja of the locker, safe deposit vault, the vault where we keep our cash and all the this documents and everything. We used to worship the cupboard, apply the swastik symbol there. So that was our ayudham. That is our tools, the money which we trade in or which we deal with. So the farmers, they have their sickle, plow, and everything. They worship that. The carpenters worship the instruments, of whatever they use, the tools and equipments. Electricians make use of all their drills and everything. All those things they worship. So it's a generally an ayudha puja. Even the kings worship the weapons.
Shastra.
Huh?
Shastra.
Shastra, yes. Astra, Shastra, all those things are worshipped today. Whatever is a means for our livelihood, which is our uh, savior kind of a thing, which enables us to carry on with our lives. So today we shall see the story of where Gritsamudha is narrating the story to Prahlada about Kapila Muni. Till yesterday we saw Kapila Muni, how he attains Ganesha, and then he carries on his life. So we take an incident from his life. Remember, we are discussing the lineage of various Manasa Putras of Brahma, that is, who were the great rishis. So here we are discussing about Kapila Muni, who was the part incarnation of Vishnu, who was born to Kardama Rishi. So here, Kapila Muni, one day he was resting in the afternoon, he was resting after he had finished all his prayers and all. At that time, one exhausted Indra reaches his ashram along with all the devas. So he comes to the ashram and he asks for lunch. We are tired, we are hungry, we want lunch. So Kapila Muni, because of his knowledge, he had derived the knowledge of Ganesha himself from his father, and he had been worshipping Ganesha, and so he was a Ganapatya, a complete devotee of Ganesha. So he prayed to Ganesha, and see now Indra, the king of Devas, has come, and they have come. He has come along with all the other Devas. Please. Help me in providing food for them. They should be appropriately honored. So immediately the Lord of the Siddhi manifested and produced and brought all the food necessary for serving Indra and the Devas. Devas were very, very pleased. So Indra was overjoyed and he sent for Vayu, the god of wind god, and he told him, go to the heavens and bring the Chintamani jewel that is in my puja place. So he went to the Vayu went to the heavens and he brought the Chintamani. Now this Chintamani jewel, it is a jewel, a precious jewel which was worn by Ganesha. It is the Chintamani. The word Chintamani is associated with Ganesha because he is the Lord of our Chitta, the Lord of our mind, that and with which we think, the wisdom, Lord of wisdom, you can say. And so that and as a jewel, as a representation of that lordship over wisdom, over knowledge, is the Chintamani jewel, which Ganesha used to wear in his neck. Now, this Chintamani jewel, Vayu Bhagwan brought it from the heavens. Indra offered it to Kapila as a gift for honoring him with all the delicious food that he offered. Kapila Muni was delighted. He said, this precious thing, which represents Ganesha himself. So he felt that he has been gifted with this jewel. So it is like Ganesha, representation of Ganesha. And because I am a devotee of Ganesha, so it is like I'm Ganesha. If I wear this jewel, I'll be like Ganesha himself. So he tied that into in a chain and wore it as a chain around his neck, the Chintamani jewel. And he was wearing that Chintamani jewel. So Prahlada asked Gritsamada Rishi, now, how did Indra acquire this gem? How did this Indra gifted this Chintamani jewel, but it is supposed to be in the neck of Ganesha? How did Indra give this jewel to? How did Indra get this jewel? So Gritsamada says Vishnu had. So he goes to narrate how Indra got the jewel. Now, Vishnu, he had been initiated into the six-lettered mantra of Ganesha, and he had been praying to Ganesha. And he had attained with his continuous austerities for a long period of time. He had got the blessings of Ganesha, and Ganesha had manifested before him. We had seen earlier where in the Pushtipati where Ganesha had manifested to Vishnu himself, and he had promised him that he'll be born as his son. So at that time when Ganesha had manifested, he gave the Chintamani jewel to him. Ganesha gave as a gift to Chintamani jewel to Vishnu. Now, Vishnu, when he received that Chintamani and disappeared, Ganesha disappeared, promising that I'll be born as your son, and then he disappeared. This Chintamani jewel, Vishnu had it in his hand, and he said, this is a representation of Ganesha. He has given me as a prasad. How can I? He kept with total reverence and devotion. He placed it in the puja place where he used to worship Ganesha himself, and he kept it there and he started worshipping. And he says that this is a representative of Ganesha, so I cannot wear this gem. It should always be worshipped. We are just the servants, we are the devotees of Ganesha. So, whoever we worship, their representation, we cannot wear it. So, we should worship him. And so, he kept it in the puja place. For several years, he was worshipping this. Then one day, Indra was doing severe penance. He was chanting the Ekakshara mantra of Ganesha, and progressively he had been following. Say all these gods at different points of time when they face difficulties, they are initiated into mantras and then they worship. Their job is only to worship and enjoy themselves, and the food they get from us as humans we offer in the yajnas, that is their food, and they live like that. So Indra was worshipping Ganesha and with the Ekakshara mantra, and he attained peace. He attained Shanti Yoga, and he was ruling the entire world of the Devas very happily. So one day, this Vishnu, he was in his Vaikunta, and he had been when he was in Vaikunta. One day, he heard an Akashvani, that is a celestial announcement. A celestial announcement. He's in that announcement. It is said, "Oh Vishnu, I had given you the Chintamani jewel to you. Now Indra is deserving of that Chintamani jewel. Go and give it to him." Because now he has done so much of penance, he has done the Ekakshara mantra japa, and he has become a Ganapatya. So it is better now that you give the Chintamani jewel to him. So Vishnu goes to Indra and gives that Chintamani jewel to him. He says, I've been ordered by the celestial announcement. The Supreme Paramatma has ordered from this announcement came, so I'm giving it to you. So Indra also, with great devotion, with this total reverence, he kept it in his puja place. And at that time, because of his worship of Ganesha, and he had attained peace. So there was no arrogance, no ego in him. And so he just placed it in the puja place, and he also simply worshipped that Chintamani jewel as a representation of Ganesha. Now, when Indra saw Kapila Muni engaged in all this meditation and austerities and worship of Ganesha and all, so he felt that this Chintamani jewel should be given to him, because now he is on earth, he may be deserving of that gem. So it will be of use to him. Whereas if it is in the heavens, it will be just there in the heavens. We already have all the powers. So there are so many gods to do all the work to be done. So we don't need. So we'll give it to. I'll give it to Kapilamuni. That is how when Indra was came to earth, he gave it to Kapila Muni. Now, Kapila Muni, thinking that he is worthy of this gem, he had been. So, in this way, it has been passed from Vishnu to Indra, Indra to Kapila. Now, Kapila Muni, he thought that he should wear the gem. That as now he see, as human beings, we are not out of the clutches of ego. Means that I, the sense of I, however much we may worship, surrender to someone, surrender to everything, still that sense of I is very strong. So when you receive a gem, something like that, so we wear it. That is why we all, even now, everybody wears everything which is a representation of God in the neck.
I was going to ask you the same question.
Yeah.
People wear that Ganesha here.
Ganesha also wear, they wear. We think out of, see, many times this is out of ignorance. We don't know that we are doing something which is inappropriate. I can't say it is wrong. It is
Not
inappropriate
correct.
because it is something we worship. And when you worship something, you can't wear it like a noose on your neck. So, so Kapila Muni, he started wearing on this neck. And now, at that time, one Asura named Ganasura. Ganasura came there. He was a now he was a Daitya. Now that Daitya king had acquired great powers. Who is this Gana? So that Ganasura came, and he had become a very powerful king. He came with his army. He came to this ashram, and he said, I have kept my army outside. Like we were just passing this way, and we saw that a beautiful ashram like yours, and so we were all hungry. Our army, my army men were all very hungry. We ate all the fruits from the trees and everything. We drank water. Now they are. I've just left my army outside the ashram in the boundary, and I have come just to express my gratitude to you. And I just wanted to convey my this that we have taken the fruits from your, and we have satiated our thirst and hunger. And just at that time, he saw this Chintamani jewel in his neck. Now okay, he just noticed it, but then he says, then when the Kapila Muni was praised like this, that we are very happy, our army is resting and everything, our horses are drinking the water from the river and all. So he said, you can't go like that, you eat food and go. So what he did, he kept the Chintamani jewel, and he prayed to the Chintamani jewel. It's a wish fulfilling, like a Kamadenu or a Kalpa Vriksha. So he placed the Chintamani jewel, and he prayed to the Chintamani jewel. Now we have to feed this whole army. The king has come and his army provide all the food. So 6 varieties of food was prepared, and the whole army, the king and the army, they were all fed with the jewels, with the food, and they were very happy. So the taste, the food was so delicious, but he had seen the gem, that gem with which it had a wishful, it could manifest all this food, all just by wishing for it. So the king asked for that jewel. Kapila Muni refused. Naturally, he didn't want to give the jewel. He didn't. It was not just like for grabs. It is not up for grabs. But this king grabbed it from his neck and ran away. He went away, and Kapila Muni, now he was very disappointed, angry also. So, but what to do? The king had gone away. Now, who is this Ganasura? So Prahlada is saying, who is this Ganasura who has come and taken the Chintamani jewel like this? So Gritsamada Rishi is narrating the story of this Ganasura. Who is this Ganasura? Once Brahmadeva um, was see there was a king called Abhijita. Abhijita, if you have heard of Abhijita, it comes generally amongst the Jain Munis. I mean, Jains. I think I've come across that name in in one of theirs, Tirthankars or something like that. But Abhijita, there was a king named Abhijita. He had no offspring. So while he was just wandering in the forest as a king, maybe for hunting, he came across this Vaishampayana. Vaishampayana Muni. Vaishampayana Muni is also, he initiated him into the mantra of Ganesha. And he says that you go to Prabhasa. There is a place called Prabhasa. Go to that Prabhasa and do penance there with this Ganesh mantra. So this King Abhijita goes to Prabhasa and meditates there for 4 months. He did penance to Ganesha and observed all the rituals and of worship to Ganesha. At that time, when he was worshipping there, he was sitting and he was doing penance there for 4 months. At that time, in a nearby pond, Brahmadeva happened to come there to, along with his daughter Saraswati. Saraswati is Brahmadeva's daughter. It is generally believed Saraswati is Brahmadeva's wife. No. In fact, in my interview for my probationary officer's exam, one of the questions they asked was, who is the wife of Brahmadeva? I said, I don't know. They just laughed and kept quiet, but I got through that interview. But this was one of the questions. So that's one of the reasons why I went into research of Saraswati, and I found that she was his daughter. And so Brahmadeva's daughter was Saraswati, and he was just had come there and was having a bath in the in that pond or the river there. So at that time, Brahmadeva was always infatuated by Saraswati, as we know. This has been a whole story. So here also, when he was on this, they had come to earth. Okay, so he was infatuated by Saraswati with her beauty, but then he knew that he was God, he was Brahmadeva, and so he restrained himself. He restricted himself, but he could not prevent the semen from falling down into the waters. Then after that, Brahmadeva went to Satyaloka. Saraswati remained on the earth. So at that time, after the Abhijita was nearby. So Abhijita, after his prayers and ritual, or before whatever, he came to this river. When he happened to come to the river to have bath along with his wife, Charuhasini. Charuhasini. And see, the queen was thirsty. She drank the water, and along with that, the semen of Brahma went into her stomach, and she became pregnant. And Charvasini, in due course, she delivered a child, and that child's name was Gana. The king Abhijita named that child Gana, and because he was born out of the semen of Brahma himself, he was lustrous, he was charming, he had everything, means all the good virtues he had. As time progressed, he was initiated, given the Brahma, was that he was initiated into the thread ceremony. He was initiated into the study of Vedas. All the karmas was Jata karma and everything was performed. Yajna Pavita and everything. And then after some time, the Gana When he grew up, he decided to increase his powers. Means to do penance and become stronger, become more, get siddhis and all. So he went to the forest. He came across Shukracharya. Shukracharya, as we know, he is the guru of the Daityas, Danavas. He taught this Gana everything, all the various siddhis, and he initiated him into Shiva, into the as a Shaivite, with giving the Panchakshara mantra of Shiva. So this Gana happened to chant that mantra of Shiva for a number of years. For a long period of time, Shiva manifested and asked for a boon. So Shiva, this Gana asked, I should become the sovereign. I should be. I should not be killed by any of the people, any person born out of the Pancha Mahabhutas. That is anybody who is born on earth. Nobody should kill me. I should become the sovereign. I should rule over the three worlds. So, in due course, as we all have seen the process, they start with the Patal Loka, they win over the Patal Loka, then they go to the Indra Loka, win over the Indra Loka, then they go to one by one, Vaikunta, Kailash, and all, and they win over one after the other, and they become the lord of all the three worlds. So, in that way, Gana also won over all the three worlds, and he became known as Ganasura. Means he became the Asura king, because he was trained, or we can say he got initiated by Shukracharya, the teacher of the demons or the Asuras. So naturally, he became the Asura king. Now this Kapila Muni, who he was Kapila Muni, he had lost his Chintamani jewel, right? So and this Ganasura had grabbed that jewel from him, and that is how remember Ganasura had come to take the to with his army. So he is the son of this Abhijita. He had taken the Chintamani jewel, and now Kapila Muni was lamenting over the loss of the Chintamani jewel. So he was also praying to Ganadisha rigorously, praying rigorously, and so Ganesha manifested before him, and along with Siddhi and Buddhi, he was riding his Mushaka, and when Kapila Muni saw Ganesha, he was in tears. He said he sang first in praise of with choked voice. He sang the prayer in praise of Ganesha. He says, नमस्ते विघ्नराजाय नमस्ते विघ्नहारिणे अभक्तानां विशेषेण विघ्नकर्ते नमो नमः आकाशाय च भूतानां मनसे चामरेषु ते बुद्धये चैन्द्र वर्गेषु त्रिविधाय नमो नमः देहानां बिन्दुरूपाय सोऽहं रूपाय देयिनां तयोरभेदभावेषु बोधाय तु नमो नमः साङ्ख्याय वैद्विदेहानां संयोगानां निजात्मने चतुर्णां पञ्चमायैव सर्वत्र तु नमो नमः नामरूपात्मकानां वै शक्तिरूपाय ते नमः आत्मनां रवये तुभ्यं हेरम्बाय नमो नमः आनन्दानां महाविष्णु रूपिणे नेतिधारिणां शङ्कराय च सर्वेषां संयोगे गणपाय ते कर्मणां कर्मयोगाय ज्ञानयोगाय ज्ञानतां समेषु समरूपाय लंबोदर नमोस्तु ते स्वाधीनानां गणाध्यक्ष सहजाय नमो नमः तेषाम् अभेद तेषां भेदभावेषु स्वानन्दाय च ते नमः निर्मायिकस्वरूपाणाम् अयोगाय नमो नमः योगानां योगरूपाय गणेशाय नमो नमः शान्तियोगप्रदात्रे ते शान्तियोगमयाय ते किं स्तौमि तत्र देवेश अतस्त्वां प्रणमाम्यहम्. So how more can I praise you? I can only do my pranams to you. You are all of this Sankhya Yoga. You are the Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Lambo. You are the ones who are dependent on themselves. You are the Lord of all of them. So you are the form of yoga itself. You are the Lord of yogis. So how more can I praise you? So after singing his praise, Ganesha, he did pranams to Ganesha. Ganesha lifts him up and he asks, what is it that you want? This prayer that you have chanted will bestow all wishes, whether it is karma, artha, kama, and moksha, dharma, artha, kama, and moksha, all the types of prowess, that is prosperity, it will bestow. Ask what you want. So Kapila Muni asks, see, O Vignesha, see, I had got this precious Chintamani jewel, which was given by you from Vishnu to Indra. Indra gave it to me, and I was, um, I, due to my ignorance, because of my lack of knowledge of that, I had worn it around my neck. And that attracted this Ganasura, and he has grabbed it and gone away. So I want it back. Please help me to get this Chintamani jewel back to me. So Ganesha says, don't worry, I'm going to be born as Vishnu's son. And when I'm born as a Vishnu's son, I will get that jewel back to you. I'll get that jewel from Ganasura. I will kill Ganasura and get back the jewel. So, promising this, Ganesha disappears. Kapila Muni continued to worship Ganesha. So, we'll see the story of this how Ganesha restores this Chintamani jewel in the next session. So, what is it that um, we can learn from this kind of a story? One is that we find that as human beings, we are often in situations where we seem helpless. We just don't know what to do. Nothing seems to work. Like even we may go to someone, we may be advised to do certain things, but still certain things just don't work, whatever it may be. And in my readings, in my studies, in the past 20 years, 25 years, I have found that the Western countries, their endeavor has been to set right many things in the world. And that is even which their concept is to set right generational um, uh, differences. Now, we often find that as we live now, when we were young, we found that we had a generational gap between our parents. Our parents never seemed to understand us. Although we might say, in the last 50 years or 40 years or even 20 years, if you take, we had our children have such a big generational gap. We could say that our children means our grandchildren, you can say, means our children were born with TV. We had no calculators also. No, we used to just with our mind we used to calculate total. And then when the calculators actually came, it was taking longer to press the buttons on the calculator rather than calculating through our brain. So for a long time, I didn't use a calculator itself until I was forced to do it. So, uh, so there was a generational gap between us and our parents, and forget about our grandparents. That though, like it, they were in the village. So that was like 100 years ago. It looks like now. Our own children, when they were born with the telephone, with the TV, so they can't imagine not having a TV, not watching a movie, not watching something live on TV. So, and then when their children came, so many of us who are in the 60s or retired or even above 7, all of us have grandchildren and many grandchildren, or even so those grandchildren, they are born with a mobile. That generation whom we call, you can say, whom we call the Gen Z, as they say, Gen Z, and even the Gen Y, the youth, if we include them also, if we include the last ones who were born in the 90s, they were born with the computers. We had never seen the computer. In fact, we were in the migration stage from the manual to the to the computers. So those who were born with the computers, they just have no idea of what it is to think through everything. So there was always a generational gap. And by the time the US had already advanced to what our Gen Z is today, they had already advanced much before, long back in the 90s itself. So at that time itself, towards the 90s, or you can say it was the beginning of 2000, that is around 2004, 5, 6, means up to the first 10 years of 2000, immediately after the 2000 ka problem, 20K, 20K problem, no? What was that problem? That where we had the whether the computers would migrate to the next century or it would not. That we had a big issue on that. So once we crossed that milestone, once we crossed that deadlock, you can say, then everything was very smooth. But then at that time, many people in the West, I had been associated with a number of groups, a number of learning groups in the West, women particularly. They found that they had a big gap between the earlier generation. There was generational, and so they felt that this generational differences had to be set right. That is, we can't just simply carry it forward. We can't simply, it has to be rectified. So that is what yesterday when I was talking to you, if we have to set right something wrong, now what the present generation is saying, this is wrong, but what we have always thought it to be right, they are telling it is wrong. At least we used to say it is wrong to our parents, but we continued it. Our children also, they said to some extent, they practiced it in their own thing, but they didn't confront us. Some of them, many of them confronted us. It led to separation. It led to them living separate their own lives, and then we living in say old age homes, or many of them. So that it started from there. But in the West, it was already one step forward, and they said that this wrong has to be set right. That is how the agitations started in the West, much before. Now we are seeing the agitation. After 20 years, we are seeing agitation in India. So it looks something new. It looks like we are shaken up to the core. We say, "Arey, ye kaisa hua? 11 साल हम सो रहे थे, 12 साल हम सो रहे थे," and suddenly when the Gen Z gets up in rising, like with fury, with that kind of fury, we are observing our neighboring nations, and then we are frightened because we had not faced that. We had faced it 75 years ago when Gandhi had been there, but he had started the peaceful movement. But that peaceful movement, when 80 crores of people rise, British had to leave. नहीं, ये हमसे नहीं होगा. So they had to leave. They couldn't confront 80 crores of people agitating even peacefully. So we got the freedom. But now the situation is different. So it is a generational uprising to set right something wrong of the past. And this had already happened in the West. And when I was associated there with evolving wisdom, with feminine power and all those, we used to discuss this generation, how to set right the generational mistakes of the past. So if we just take one example of that, one instance I'm taking, a real serious problem which we face today, that is raping of women, raping of young girls. Okay. Where did it start? It made me thinking for many years back. Um, it all started with the infatuation of Brahmadeva to his daughter, Saraswati. Even today, the girls are attracted. I mean, the father is attracted to the daughter, or the daughter is more attached to the father than her mother. That's where the attraction starts, and many of the children who are raped are children, young girls who whose body is not even developed for that. It's a fact. And this agitation in me, it started along with the Western women, because I was associated, even though I was in Canara Bank, working for Canara Bank, my rest of the time was with that knowledge, group studies that started long back. And I used to wonder, we need to set right this generational mistake. So yesterday, some days back, I was reading the Mary Magdalene, some Christian scriptures. So it said, "As in heaven, so below; as below, so in heaven." That's what is said. That is, as it is in heaven, so it is in. As it is in the Swargaloka, that same thing happens here, and as it is here, it happens in Swargaloka. The only difference we find is in the Indian scriptures, where the in the Swarga Loka, it is only for enjoyment of the results of the karma. The karma has to happen here. In the West, they have no, that theory is not there. That theory of karma is not there, or even if they know, they don't apply it, or they think it is Hindu, and so it is looked down, means it is given a religious aspect to it, a
Not
religious.
applicable to us.
Not applicable to us. We are Christians, so it is not applicable to us. But this, it is a law. Means every action, as you follow law, scientific laws, but when the karma, the word karma is a Sanskrit word, no doubt. But when that law is translated into the scientific laws, it is all the Newton's laws of three laws of motions. Every action is action as a reaction, equal and opposite in direction. Every action, anything cannot remain in inertia. It will gather momentum, and when anything which gathers momentum, it doesn't halt immediately. It will come to a halt in its own pace, and then there is an equal leveling of everything, which is so these are certain laws of physics, or and which is applicable to spirituality, which is applicable to the our emotions, our character, our behavior, and everything. And that is where karma comes. Karma is a reflection in form of action of whatever we desire, or whatever we are supposed to do, whatever our purpose in life. It is converted into actions. But what are the karmas we do? Nitya karmas, naimitya karmas, vishishta karmas, and prarabdha karmas. So we have a certain structure to how that karma should be acted upon. Nitya karmas cannot be avoided. Naimitya karmas are occasional karmas, which are to be done on those occasions only, like on the occasion of the death of the person, on the occasion of the birth of the person, like how we celebrate birthdays and all. Then you have the Vishishta karmas, certain special karmas which has to be done, and then or specific karmas, like supposing a king who doesn't get a daughter, I mean, who doesn't have an heir to the throne, so then he does the yajna karma to get the son, propitiate a son. Those are Vishishta karmas, which have got certain special rituals and all, which are detailed things are there. Then you have your prarabdha karmas, that is which is carried forward from our previous lives. And those prarabdha karmas, it is unavoidable. It has to be done, even if it causes pain to you. You will have to face it. Just like leprosy and all. When you face it, you face it, you suffer it. So there is no way you can escape it. So some and certain duty, those things are there. So we need to follow. So in order to rectify certain generational errors, many times, that is when I went into study of our scriptures. Where are we going wrong? Now they were telling we need to separate. So they were looking into their previous generations on earth. Western women, as a group, we were all women. We were more than 500,000 women at a time discussing these things. So, we used to see our grandmothers, great grandmothers. They used to say, go back to 100 thing, what they did, and from there they went up to shamanic times or the tribal time when they what the rituals they followed, and they came back. But then those were according to the circumstances on earth, means where there was no development of transport, or where there were trees were there, where all those vegetations were there, or all those which were natural habitat of this world. But many times what happens in heaven comes down to earth. That is given in the Bible itself. Give us this day our daily bread. Thou art, O Father, thou art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, as it is on earth, as on earth as it is in heaven. They're praying like that. So as it is in heaven, give us like that. So sometimes what the mistakes which happen in heaven happens on earth. Okay, and that happens because these gods in the ancient times used to take birth on earth. And in our scriptures it is very clearly given, the gods in Swargaloka, Vaikuntha, all of them, they can only enjoy, they cannot change anything. Rules are already given, it is given by the Supreme Paramatma, and those rules they have to observe those rules. But if they want to change anything or experience any change, they have to take a human birth. That is why the incarnations happen. Vishnu, Shiva, Ganesha, Shakti, Surya, everybody has taken incarnations in order to make changes. So when they want to learn something, what actually works, it only can be done on earth. That is why it is called karma bhumi. It is called mrityu loka, that which transforms. Anything that is born dies. So any transformation can happen only on earth, which is made up of all the primordial elements. So we need to, so when we want to change anything generationally, yesterday, as I was just saying, when we want to set right something, sometimes when we are in it, we don't know its impact. So somebody else has to tell you. We can't see our blind spots. Someone will have to see that blind spot and tell you. And it is our receptivity that will make it possible to change or not. That's our choice. Freedom of choice is also given to us. Our free will is given to us by the Supreme. So when it has to be changed, someone will see. So that is why the teacher taught relationship is here. Why the Guru Shishya Parampara has been established. Only someone third person can see you. And whom will we listen to? Do we listen to someone who is equal to us? Who is he to tell us? We generally say like that. Even our friends, "Tu kaun hai udhar bolne wala?" I will do what I want. No, we don't listen. Even to a younger to forget about it.
I know better.
I know better. I know, no, I know better. So then you don't listen to at all. Then whom will we listen? We listen to someone who's above us. So generally in the past, our parents were our immediate teachers. But later on, when that generational gap started coming in, we started disrespect or having less respect to unko kya malum hai. They don't know what we have to face.
Old
So that
furniture.
yeah, so that thing happened. Then our respect. So that is why there was always a guru. Even from ancient times, even the kings, they used to respect. They used to go to the guru's ashram. They never listened. The kings never taught their children. The kings always sent their children to the ashram. They lived in the ashram with the guru. They were taught everything, A to Z, including archery, shooting, everything they were taught. There were different specialists. Everybody was specialists in everything. Vasishta, Vishwamitra, they all knew they were given the powers by God, by Brahmadeva himself. They were given those powers. So this Guru Shishya Parampara, from the teacher to taught, it was passed on, and always the student learned. So whenever he made a mistake, he was asked to do something. So in those days, there was no concept of punishment. There was a concept of punishment, but it was like, go and sweep the garden. You have to sweep the garden for 1 month. Means that was a kind of punishment. So when you clean, your mind is engaged in an activity there is a focus, development of focus, concentration, and then little by little that person starts, when the that sweeping becomes monotonous, he starts thinking of on himself, why am I doing this? Then it becomes, oh, I did this, I shouldn't have done that. So that clarity starts happening when the cleanliness starts on the earth. When you start cleaning, that is why they say clean anything, even even we may have servants to clean the house, the puja place we do the cleaning, because cleaning gives us a sense of clarity in our mind. The cleaning happens in our mind. So that's why I see these certain rituals which are have their own purpose. So it appears like why we should do it or something like that. But then that is where karma comes into play. And if we take it as that, and if we understand it properly, it will help us in evolving. So what I want to say is, we have to, if we want to set right certain generation, certain mistakes of the past, so studying of the scriptures, we can know the mistakes done by gods also. When they come to earth, they make certain mistakes. And then when you find that mistake, now here the rapes of the young girls, they know how delicate they are. Don't the men know? They can't
Definitely.
stand one thorn, this, they simply start crying. And to such an innocent child or a girl child, how can they inflict such cruelty? She's not even developed.
That is Asura Bhakti.
So you can give any name to that, but that mentality has to change. And that can happen only on earth. Only when we reverse that tendency of getting attracted to something beautiful. We always want to possess something beautiful. We want to grab that thing.
Instead of
So
admiring.
this attitudinal change, behavioral change can be brought about only in on earth. And another thing, up to 12 years, up to 6 years, see, when a child is born, up to 6 years, gods have power over the children. They have direct connection to gods. Now the children lose their innocence in age of 1.5, 2 years. In that up to 6 years, gods are connected to them. So they their innocence should be maintained for six. That is why in a former, in the, at least in my generation, only after 6 years we were sent to school.
I was going to say the same thing.
Only if I studied first
First
standard three
standard,
times.
no
Well,
KG. No KG, no upper KG, lower
no
KG.
lower
First
KG, no upper
standard, six
KG,
years.
no pre KG, no kinder. What is that called? Nursery and some
Nursery.
whatever
Playgroup.
names.
Playgroup.
Play group. No. For 6 years, they are divine. And that is the age when you should protect them. And that can be protected by, okay, mother. And then when the children get that sense of security within that age, then up to 12 years, again next to 12 years, that is up to the age of 0 to 12, 6 years god's ke haath mein hai, then 6 to 12 parents ke haath mein hai, parents, teachers. So there again the school should be in small groups, not in huge of 100 people where you can't control them, we can't know what they are doing, nothing like that. So in that 12 years tak he white blood corpuscles are formed in the human body, in the heart. और अगर उसके वहां तक प्रोटेक्ट करते हैं, then they automatically develop that strength, the courage, even to confront any such molestation, any such overbearing influence of others over them. अगर वो quantity of, you see, when you go to blood checkup, they say your pellets are down, your, I mean, your, I don't know what they say, means
Platelets.
that your white blood corpuscles count is down, less, very less, and all that. Why? Because white blood corpuscles does not form after 12 years. It only forms till 12 years. जो उस समय तक जो इतना करोड़ बना है या इतना लाख बना है, that will remain till you die. On the other hand, it will start reducing by fighting with the germs, whatever you're attacked with, any disease, any things, it will fight and it will get reduced. So you don't have the immunity power, then you get all AIDS and all. AIDS, from where did it come? Autoimmune diseases. Because your white blood corpuscles are not there to fight. That is why in the West it started. This started in the West. Why? Because I think when they are born itself, the children are separated from the mothers.
They sleep in a separate room.
They sleep in a separate room. You don't have that touch. So it starts
Cuddling.
from there.
Cuddling
The
is
fear
not there.
starts from there only. The child was in the womb in a concealed place for 9.5 or 10 months, and then suddenly you're out into the open, with all the five elements attacking you: air, water, fire, everything around you is attacking you. And how can that innocent thing ever survive? So this जो reversal tendency जो हम बोल रहे हैं ना, we want to reverse generational gap. So this is one example I took of protecting of the female child, or the women attack of rapes and of the murders of child. And then you say you have marriage problems. No girls are ready to marry you. It comes to, when you grow as an adult, you realize that the problem has become this level. And then you blame there is no employment or whatever. Do you think our grandfathers were big employed? But still, so many girls married them. We are living examples. We are surviving. So it's not because of that. It is because of the insecurity, the fear, the innocence. Innocence has gone before time. And Ganesha is the Lord of innocence. Mooladhar Chakra stands for four qualities: wisdom, auspiciousness, innocence, and chastity. These are the four qualities of Mooladhar Chakra, four petals. The Mooladhar Chakra is a lotus of four petals, and these are the qualities of Mooladhar Chakra. And Ganesh is the lord of that Mooladhar Chakra, and that is why we have this Lord Chintamani. And we don't tie it to the neck; we put it in worship. Okay. So we'll just meditate for 4-5 minutes.
Yeah.
Bring all your attention to yourself, wherever you're seated. Feel your surroundings. See that your feet are firmly planted on the floor. Feel the earth beneath your feet. Keep your spine erect. Hands on your lap, palms facing upwards. Eyes gently closed. Bring your attention to yourself. Keep your attention in your center heart. Your sternum. Now take a nice deep breath and breathe it fully into your lungs. Open your chest. Feel the chest expand as you inhale and let go of all that is compressed and suppressed in your heart. Watch your breath as you breathe rhythmically, fully attentive. Very often in life, we come across or we are confronted with questions and difficulties or challenges that shows us our life's purpose. It leads us. The line of thought that emerges on that path helps in fulfilling our life's purpose. We often fight against the tide. But in moments of meditation, in moments of silence, in moments when the mind is quiet, such as when you are in the mountains or just at peace sitting on the seashore, watching the waves of the ocean rise and fall, the gentle breeze brushing on your face, or as you're driving on a long drive, in moments of peace, when you're in tune with your inner self. It's in these moments that you get glimpses of divine revelations. Hold on to them, because that gives you the strength to go forward. Those moments are rare, and it is your bridge to the heavens that's speaking to you through you. It's unique to you. Cherish those moments. Slowly wriggle your fingers. Rub your hands together. Cup your palms, place it on the eyes. Gently rub your face. And open your eyes.